Hi guys, this is Kevin with Gopherlax, and for the video today, we are going to go over breaking in leathers. Now, the first point is to use a good quality lacrosse leather. I'm biased to mine. Um, so we'll be using a set of mine. We'll also be talking about hand cut leathers, whether you use Minlax with Brian, go with Tim in the Cellar, or Jason with Zombie Mesh. We'll go over briefly how to break those in because it's slightly different. There's an added step as opposed to normal leathers. So the first thing is, why do you want to break in your leathers? Number one is you want to inspect the leather. Very rarely, but it will happen as you're stretching the leather, it's going to snap. Bad piece of hide, crappy leather, that'll happen more than often. But while stretching it, it'll snap, and you'd rather have it snap now than string up the head, hit the wall, and have it snap there when you're catching it, which has also happened. The most important thing is that you stretch the leather so it doesn't break in and leather stretch in the pocket. That will lead to an inconsistent pocket, and it'll lead you to go back through and having to do more maintenance on the pocket since the pocket's stretching and bagging out not as intended. And finally, stretching out your leathers will break them in quicker and have your pocket break in a hell of a lot quicker than just stringing them up in a head and throwing them out there. So, how do you do this? On this one, there's 1,001 ways. There are people that will use leather conditioners, leather oils, baby oil. They'll dip them in hot water and then stretch them and dry them out. My favorite way to do it is just plain stretching. It's what works for me. So, the way I do it, and I'll take a few minutes each leather, is first to grab about an inch or two apart and just, as I'm pulling, twist around and work my way throughout the entire leather as I'm doing that. So, when I get that to the end, what I'll do is wrap it around my hands, and really what I'm trying to do now is pull this, and if they do snap, and occasionally leathers will, it's going to be right here, but this will dramatically break the leather in a lot quicker. So just as a point, this is one I've just been working on, this is one I haven't, and you can see just by stretching it how much longer it's already stretched out to be. So when they're done and they're stretched, it's gonna be, it's gonna feel almost like cross lace. The stiffer leathers with the color pigments may take a little while, but they will all eventually get to this. If they don't, you're not dealing with a good leather. So you do that through all of the 4 leathers, 3 leathers, 2 leathers, 6, how many ever you're going to use in the pocket, and do that. Even in women's sticks, it's just so much easier to do that. It's easier to string the leather. The leather's a little more pliable. And again, once you string it up, typically what I'll do is, I'll have another video on this. I string up the pocket, put it in a pocket stretcher, dunk it in water, and leave it dry over the night. So by the time that I get to it and get to wall balling with it, it's already dramatically broken, more dramatically broken in. So with the hand cut leathers, and if you can see here, the hand cut leathers are typically thicker, especially Brian's, and Tim's are slightly thicker. You're going to go through the same process of pulling it like this and stretching it out. But you're going to need to thin the width of the leather a little bit. And I don't have a good example here. Ideally, if you have a cracked lacrosse head or a thicker head or head you don't care about, the easiest thing to do is to feed it through one of these holes, and what you're going to kind of do is just rock it through the entire head. What that's going to do is further break down the leather. And again, these are thicker, so they take a little more care and maintenance at the beginning, but if you don't use mine, those three guys make great hand cut leathers. But what it's also going to do is thin it out, so you're going to be able to get it through the hole, and hopefully this through the bottom hole of the head. If not, there's a couple other ways to attach it to the bottom of the stick. And then in the next video, we're going to go with stringing up a head, and how I string a traditional head. We'll go with probably a 6-diamond traditional, and I'll walk you through that. If you have any questions, hit me up.